言っておくが、命の保証はしないぞ。
Yo, what's up, Lad here. How's it going? I apologize for the lack of videos. I've been busy playing Expedition 33, but now that I finally completed it, I can finally focus back on COTC. Anyways, this week is Hujheb. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Anyways, he's an hunter of the domination factor and hailing from the Sacred Blaze banner. He'll be in the same banner as Odette, Kanari, and Liana once his run is over. With him arriving, he is potentially the top 3 in physical DPS when it comes to bow physical damage in the game, even still in the JP side. He has a passive similar to Oswald, where your front row can also follow up with an additional attack, making him both a great attacker and a great support. Let's go ahead and check him out. Furukawa Makoto is his VA, and from this list I know Saitama from One Punch Man and Miyuki from Love is War. It's finally good to see Saitama making his way to COTC, but with how edgy Hujheb is, I don't think he'll be making any sort of jokes. Anyways, let's go ahead and head on over to his notable damaging skills. His first attack is a SP cost of 62, and this gets lowered down to 50 once you learn his Skill Saver ability. It's a 4-hit single target bow damage attack, potency 65, and it consumes 1 arrow point. These arrow points or counters are part of his passive, and we'll get more onto that when we get to his passives. After consuming 1 arrow point, if he has 2 more arrow points on him, he lowers the enemy's physical and elemental defense by 15% for 2 turns. If he has 3 or more arrow points on him, this attack becomes a 6-hitter. His second ability is an SP cost of 96 and becomes 77 later. It's again a 4-hit bow damage attack, potency 35. Again, it consumes 1 arrow point. If he has 2 or more arrow points on him, this attack gains a 20% potency. And if he has 3 or more, he lowers the enemy's physical resistance down by 10% for 2 turns. And lastly, his third ability is an SP cost of 70 and goes down to 56. It's a 2-hit single target bow damage attack and also lowers bow resist by 15% for 2 turns. Again, it consumes 1 arrow point. This has a potency of 135. If he has 2 or more arrow points, he gains 10% more potency on this ability. And if he has 3 or more arrow points, this attack gains a 30% potency. And also take note that only the higher potency will be applied. For his EX skill, it's after 3 turns and 2 usages. It's a 3-hit single target bow damage attack, potency 55, and it consumes up to 6 arrow points for up to additional 6 hits. For his ultimate, a level 1 to level 10, it's a 1-hit single target bow damage attack, potency 440 level 1 and 525 at level 10. And it gives all the hunters in your party buffs if you have more than 1 hunter, 10% at level 1 to 15% at level 10 bow damage attack up. If you have 2 or more hunters in your party, they all get 10,000 damage cap at level 1 to 50,000 at ultimate level 10. And if you have 3 or more hunters in your team, those hunters get dead aim for 2 turns. Next are his support skills. His first one is a 50 SP cost that goes down to 40 once you level it up. He gives the front row a physical attack of 15%, and if he has 2 more arrow points, increases the front row's bow damage by 15%. And if he has 3 more arrow points, he lowers the front row's SP consumption by 20% for 2 turns. His second support skill is his TP skill, which is a 40 SP cost. He gives himself a sub 100% potency up and a damage cap of 50,000. And also dead aim for 2 turns. But using this TP skill consumes all his arrow points. Now for his passives. For his first one, if he has 0 arrow points at the start of battle, he gains 3 arrow points. And this becomes 6 arrow points at 6 stars after using the skill. For his second passive, depending on how many hunters are in the party, if there's 2 or more, he gives the front row a 15% bow damage up. If there's 3 or more, he gives the front row a 15% attack up. And if there's 4 or more, he gives the front row a 20,000 damage cap up. For his third passive, or his TP passive, he gives the front row a follow-up 1-hit AoE bow damage attack, potency 100, when the ally in the front row uses bow attacks. And this follow-up attack, when activated, has a low chance to inflict corrosion for 2 turns. And then he has a 10% in dark resistance and 20 in light. Taking a look at his stats here, he has the highest physical attack stat for all of the hunters, even still in the JP side, at 537. Obviously a physical DPS, he'll need as much physical base attack as he can get. But the only downfall about him is the fact that his speed is on the lower side at 340, so keep that in mind as he'll probably be going last. Now for the main question, should you pull? He is a stable in many bow squads. Firstly, his skills, while they can be a headache to keep count of how many arrow stacks he has, at turn 2, he'll get access to 6 arrow stacks. As turn 1, he'll have to obviously use a skill, and assuming he's at 6 stars, his passive, as you recall, will give him 6 arrow points. He has none to begin with. Each of his abilities will take up 1 arrow point. An STP skill consumes them all. Sadly enough, he does not have a way to replenish those arrow stacks until he uses them all. With his battle skills, he's able to lower 20% physical resist of any enemy and also 10% bow resist down, so equivalent to a 30% bow resist down. But you'll obviously have to use 3 different skills. His TP skill is great to bring along, as it greatly increases his firepower and also consumes all his arrow stacks, so his next turn he can replenish 6 more. He is one traveler who benefits heavily on Awakening 2, as many of his skills are great to have. But with that said, that's definitely more of a want than a need. Then for his main selling point, his passive. It allows your front row to deal one additional hit if they're dealing bow damage. We've seen this with Osvald's fire and ice lightning skills. I have a pretty good feeling that this won't be the last time we'll see these follow-up attacks. But one major thing to keep in mind is the fact that hunters don't get too much love. As after Hujheb, there are only 2 more hunters released after that in the JP side, so keep that in mind. And because of that, he is easily top 3. He functions great as a support, as his ultimate gives all hunters an attack and bow damage buff, and he also functions great as a DPS, as he has both access to high potency skills and his TP skill, which allows him to further his potency by 100%. Then we have his A4 accessory. It's a 60 to physical attack and 80 to SP. It also raises bow damage dealt by 15%, and more interesting enough is its second passive, which also gives any hunter access to also hitting dark with their battle skills. On paper, this sounds quite amazing, but recall that only hunters can utilize this exploit. And as of right now, we don't have too many amazing hunters when compared to many other classes in this game. Many hunters in this game can hit up to 6 times, with the exception of Kilns, with his EX skill which can hit up to 10 times. Hunters are well known in the game to be some of the best breakers when it comes to bow weakness, as many of them have high multi-hitting attacks, but they often lack a true DPS kit, like a high hitting potency skill. Currently with our roster, the one who can truly utilize this A4 accessory is Kilns. As 1, he's a great support with his BP recovery, 2, he can debuff, 3, his multi-hitting attacks, 4, his innate passive taunt, and lastly, his ultimate. Up against the enemy who's weak to dark, you'll most likely bring along travelers who can also hit dark weakness using physical attacks, and that usually is warriors. It wouldn't make sense to bring any other hunters, as currently our hunters cannot also exploit dark weakness. Our next 2 hunters will be able to exploit dark, but it's going to be a while until they get released. It's an accessory that's great to have, but not necessary. And also recall that we'll be getting access to more dark elemental travelers, so that's also something to think about. Now longevity, he's here to stay. Like I said before, he's a staple in every hunter squad. To be able to give your front row a follow-up attack to bow damage, results in more damage, and of course more shield breaks. His kit is great. It's a little bit of everything that's needed in a DPS traveler. He can buff active bow damage, lower physical resist and bow resist. He has access to a 6-hitter, and also access to nuke attacks. And lastly, his ultimate is fantastic for hunters. Him and Kilns are a perfect duo for any hunter squad. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Character design 4.5 out of 5. He definitely looks cool. In his description, he was previously a warrior that turned to a hunter, so we'll find more about that in his story. For his VA, Furukawa Makoto is definitely one of a kind. I'm still waiting for the next season for One Punch Man. Abilities 4 out of 5. Like I said before, he's everything that a DPS unit should have. Longevity 4.5 out of 5. Like I said before, he's going to be a staple for any hunter squad, as he provides way too much utility for just being one character. Global or C buff 0 to 5. He didn't get any. Would have been nice though. Time limited, yes. He's part of the Sacred Blaze banner, so again, the same banner that Odette and Kanari are in. Overall impression 4.25 out of 5. Finally, showing more love to hunters. For those who enjoy hunters in this game, he's definitely one that you might want to pull for, as he'll definitely increase their firepower. With that said, he is very much someone who is catered towards mainly a hunter squad. Tomorrow I'll do about 3 polls, as I'm still saving for the next hyped up collaboration units. For those who are free to play, perhaps 1 poll, and then I will stop there. But I will continue to save up your rubies, as if you pull him, you must have already a decent hunter squad. But with that said, let me know if you'll be pulling for him. I'll catch you next time. Take care of yourself like always. Flat out.